really well.
Yeah, you got to do it right.
If you don't do it right, it's just horrible. It's horrifying.
It's horrible. Talking about horrible, my interviewing technique's horrible. And that's what we're going to discover on this episode of Mike Up in Your Business. I interview a dear friend, Chris Ducker, the entrepreneur of You, man. And he's an expat from England who moved down to the Philippines, started a business that has hundreds of employees, and then is now an ex-expat. He returned back to England. It's an interesting story, so listen on in. Chris Ducker, a real mother's friend.
You know what's funny? When I was at the social media conference, I was in line at Starbucks to get a coffee, and he was behind me. If I would have known we were going to interview him, I would have struck up a conversation. But
yeah, it's very cool.
He's a handsome bloke, and
a lot of these authors, you can't talk to them. They're just
they're unapproachable.
Oh, look at me.
Look at me. I'm the best. He no, he's an extraordinary guy, and like he said in the interview, we've known each other for approaching a decade before ever meeting face to face.
Wow.
So the first time we met face to face, we were both speaking at the same conference. I was speaking later on. He already spoke, so he was in the audience. I was walking in, and I'm like, "Oh my God, it's Chris Ducker!" In the whole.
So that's when you made the scene and you diverted attention away from whoever
the host
was
is like,
on
what
stage.
the hell's going on? Hundreds of people just looking at us. Like, who are these two guys?
Leave it to you.
Yeah, I know. I lack cognitive awareness of people around me. I think it's all about me.
Is that why we're friends? Because I do the same. I lack some awareness.
You?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the least aware thing you've ever done that you can think of?
I can't even talk about it.
Oh, is that embarrassing?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think guys generally have a greater lack of awareness around them than women. I do, and particularly in loud voices. Like I'm a loud voice guy. Like I hit a certain volume, and I don't know why. I don't even realize the volume and speed I'm speaking at. I have a female friend. She's an even louder talker, and she has no dial. No dial.
Yeah. Well, I live with that too. Christopher, I feel like he's just unaware of his volume at all times. And yeah.
Yeah, can impede on other people.
Mm-hmm.
I got a story about that regarding this weekend. So it was one of my good friend's birthdays, and because of COVID, I guess there's hospitals, hotels that are struggling. So we were in Center City, Philly, and there's this beautiful area with a courtyard, and you can rent out this hotel. It's like a carriage house, like it's very old, and you get the whole place. And we had a bunch of people, so it was cool to hang out. And then you're just surrounded by these skyscrapers. And towards the middle of the night, the girls start getting really loud, and we're on the balcony, and they're just like, ah! My buddy's like, oh, this is gonna be a problem. And I said, do you want to sheepdog them? You want to sheepdog them? And he's like, yeah. He's like, let's sheepdog them. So we started corralling around him, and they're like, all right, guys, come on, let's go. And it worked.
And it worked.
8 seconds, and then
you all turn into collies and get
Yeah.
them all where they need to be.
I'm like, wait, what are you doing? No, we're not going inside.
Oh, they caught on to it.
I do get loud when I'm drinking too much. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, but you don't drink too much nowadays. I mean, that was more of a college thing, I think.
Yeah, you're true. That's true.
So let's talk about Chris Ducker. He's got a drinking problem, by the way. That's why I wanted to just kind of squash that conversation.
Yeah, sure.
I don't want the world to know about how much he drinks.
You don't really want them to know, yeah.
No.
Of course.
One thing I thought was interesting was that he went to the Philippines because he wanted to get out of England. Sounds like he went to England because he wanted to get out of the Philippines. I saw the interesting dynamic that over time our interests change, and what's appealing today isn't necessarily appealing tomorrow. So I thought that was just fascinating about his journey.
His whole journey was really, really interesting. I have to tell you, I'm sorry, this is a little off topic, but the fact that we're not using Slack at work is getting me a little nervous. Everybody uses Slack. Christopher's company uses Slack, and he's using Slack, and I'm like, oh no, are we missing something?
Are we missing out on Slack? Yeah, he was so jacked about it.
No, Jeremy?
Yeah, it's like Voxer on steroids. So you can just never get away. I mean, it's just like a text chain, just through an app.
Yeah,
for different categories of work.
But anyway, I did love his journey, and I think that's the growth thing too, the way we change what it is we're after and what satisfies and what inspires, and, it sounds like that was his progression through the journey, England to the Philippines and then back again, and en route getting a new wife and, starting a family and stuff like that. Really cool story.
Yeah, I think it was a cool story. I love that he grew his business to the point where it just runs itself. It sounds like he does is
Yes.
required at 0.0% of the time,
Right.
and that was by design. I like to, and he really didn't talk about it in the interview so much, but he went into a cheaper labor market. The Philippines was at the point such an inexpensive labor base, highly educated, that he's able to, by putting himself there, he's able to understand the culture and then deliver a service at a very low cost point to him,
Right.
and become competitive. And it's still that way in the Philippines, but I thought that was particularly smart.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. That's particularly brilliant. The whole thing about, he's really made himself non-essential to the business. It runs successfully
Right.
without him. What do you think is the percentage of entrepreneurs who are actually striving for that compared to ones who just like, "No, this is what I love to do. This is
Oh,
what
that's a
I
great
wanna do."
question.
Do you
I
find more on
I
one
think
than the
some
other?
verbally say they're doing it, but their actions indicate otherwise.
Uh-huh.
Like, I want my business to run itself,
Right.
and the behaviors. So I would say, at least pick a number.
Yeah.
Over 95% of people actually do not strive to the business to run itself, even though they're saying it. And
Yeah.
they don't even are aware of this, but all their behaviors indicate they want to be in the business in some capacity.
Yeah.
They want the business dependent upon them. Because honestly, I think there's a reason why only, I think it's 3% of businesses ever surpass $1 million in revenue or something.
Wow.
It's because the owner has entrenched herself or himself in the business.
Right.
And therefore,
They're
if we
gumming up the works? Are
they're
they
going up the works, and
they're
if we
gumming up the
really strive not to work in the business, we'd have far more than 3%. The threshold, this $1 million threshold, or whatever the thing is, it's not this magical threshold. It's not difficult to get past it through our activities. It's difficult to get past it when our mindset says that we have to do the activity that we
Right.
have to. So I think it's a mindset thing.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I wonder if there's like a phenomenon similar to empty nest syndrome with entrepreneurs where
Oh yeah,
once you feel like you're not needed, then it's like this weird depression because you spent so long working on this thing and raising this child,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it's not
yeah.
it doesn't
That
need you.
phenomenon is very real.
Yeah. Well, you had a
Yeah.
taste of it, Mike, right? When you did your first clockwork,
Yeah.
test?
So my own experience was that I said I wanted the business to run itself, but the businesses were always dependent upon me for some capacity. It's when I started writing Clockwork that I had a conscious realization, oh my gosh, I'm keeping myself in the business. That's when I took the first 4-week vacation. And what I didn't expect was this visceral emotional feeling that the business didn't need me and I was fearful. I didn't know what to do now.
Mm.
That was a scary feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once I reframed it and said, "Oh my gosh, now the business is a source for employing other people and growing and scaling, and I can serve in a capacity that brings me joy, but also not have the business dependent upon me." That's the ultimate business because they can keep growing.
Right.
And ever since that point, we've grown the fastest and healthiest.
That's
Ironically,
true. It's funny. That's funny. We've grown a lot since that moment, so
we've grown a lot, and it's not like I think the feeling that many entrepreneurs have, myself too, is like, "Oh my god, the business doesn't need me. I'm insignificant. I'm nothing." No, the realization is in the regards of business, I'm another component for the business, but I'm not the hub of the business. Just like we all are components of this business.
mm,
Um, by giving the freedom to realize I'm just a part of this business, that there can be many parts to it. And it doesn't have to go through me. It just became opening. And then how I empower myself is like this can solve entrepreneurial poverty in a much bigger way if many people are doing this, and it can provide jobs. Like most people don't want to be entrepreneurs, and
right.
that's actually a good thing because it's really freaking hard. And a lot of people fail.
Yeah.
You don't want it to
I
be,
don't wanna be an entrepreneur, no.
yeah. But I suspect you want a job. I'm speaking for you, but a job that you enjoy, you have fun at,
Yeah.
that provides you the income as you define as significant or important to you.
Yep.
It's part of a life's experience, a big part.
Right.
And I think we have the ability, if we free ourselves from doing the work as entrepreneurs, to set up an environment that does that
Yeah.
for others.
Right. Right.
And I feel like we still need to. I mean, we're at a certain point, but you're still the brand, so we still need to then go to the next level where now
Right.
it's like growing past that to where it's not, just
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we're starting to get there. Like, so these derivative books are a big thing. That's what Amy leads. There's more profit first books out there than just mine. There's like 5 derivatives, and we're on the verge of like 3 or 4 being released back to back to back. There's going to be a point, if this continues with profit first, that the profit first derivatives collectively may sell more than the original profit first book itself.
Mm.
And that becomes like a tipping point, that it's really now part of a bigger community than just me. In Fix
Yeah.
This Next, we now have one that's about on imminently going to be released, and another one's coming out behind it. And we're also building products that aren't dependent upon me. The next level is, I still do the teaching of our products. Um, can we start delivering products that I don't do anything, teaching, development, but can come out under our platform?
Right.
And that's next, I think.
That's cool.
Yeah.
One other thing that I thought was cool about the interview is, and I didn't really think about this, but you probably experienced this, Mike, is when he said he started growing and his business was running itself. Then he was associating with other people, and his social circle expanded, but in a different way because there are people that he never would have associated with before. So it was like now all of a sudden his social circle is moving to a whole nother area.
Oh yeah,
Dimension.
totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fascinating. What is that saying? You are like your 5 closest friends or something?
Yeah.
I do believe we need to select communities that we hang out with, because there is massive influence. That herding mentality happens for all of us. So pick your herd.
Right. Right.
You got a game for us, Jay
Oh,
Sloan?
of course, I got
Yay.
It's called Name Jay Sloan's favorite nicknames for himself. Jacob
Yeah.
Loan, Paperwork, Jacob.
All right. So Chris put in the little survey that he actually started a blues band. So this is blues music trivia.
That's right, Blue.
Oh.
He started a blues band.
Oh,
I didn't ask him what.
he used to front a blues band, he said.
Oh, he's a front man.
He was a front man for a blues
That's
band.
awesome.
Yeah.
These are tough. I actually don't know much about blues, so I don't know. Maybe you guys will do better than me. So Robert Johnson is one of the most celebrated figures in the history of blues. His voice, his lyrics, and guitar playing are legendary. He died in 1938 at the age of 27, leaving behind his legacy of 29 recorded songs and 41 alternate tracks. Do you know how he died? So the options are: he committed suicide, alcohol, he was shot, or he died of pneumonia.
Hmm.
And if you answer pneumonia, you have to spell it correctly also.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a P in pneumonia or something?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Silent.
Yes.
All right. Number 2. After the guitar, the instrument most closely identified with blues is the harmonica or the mouth harp. Which of the following artists was primarily known for their expertise as a harpist? Is it Pinetop Perkins? These names are so cool. Otis Spann, Jay McShann, or Sonny Boy Williamson? Have you heard any of these people before?
No.
No, neither have I.
My
I
mother would
want
be
to say
so
Sonny
disappointed.
Boyd Williamson. I was hoping you were going to say Jelly Roll Morton, because he's a performer, but he's not blues. He's like ragtime. There's another guy, Fats Waller. Those names are amazing.
Yeah, they
The
are.
old.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the modern version is hip hop names that people have.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the
Yeah.
modern version of this stuff.
It's true. I never
Yeah.
thought of it, but that's true.
All right, question 3. Much has been made about the influence that blues has had on the development of rock and roll. Many rock and roll bands, such as Rolling Stones, Fleetwood Mac, Cream, and Led Zeppelin, had their roots in blues and evolved into what could be called blues rock. Which of the following rock bands did not fit this group? So, which one was not
Bluesy.
associated with bluesy? Yep. The Animals, Pink Floyd, Canned Heat, or ZZ Top?
Mm.
What was the third band? The Animals, Pink Floyd,
Canned Heat.
Canned Heat.
They had one major hit. Was that the? No, what is that? Canned Heat. Not Bullet Hits the Bone. What was the song? What's that major hit by them? Do you remember?
I don't even know.
I don't know either.
Well,
It had a real funky beginning. All right.
I'll have to look it up later.
Yeah.
All right. So question one: How did Robert Johnson die?
Pneumonia.
Pneumonia.
Yeah, he died of pneumonia at
Ooh, Mike.
27
I
years old.
got
That's
that.
That's a gimme. Yeah, and that's a shame.
Pneumonia. Pneumonia. Do I get extra credit?
Hey, spell one more time. P-N.
Pneumonia.
You got it. I forgot the U. I forgot the U. Yeah, 1.5 for her.
Thank you. Thank you.
Isn't that crazy to think? I mean, pneumonia can still kill you now, but
Yeah.
like in 1938, it was, way
Yeah.
more
Deadly.
serious
Yeah.
than now.
Aren't you
Ooh,
glad sometimes? Don't you just sit there and be like, thank God I was born in this day and age and the
Oh,
place
we're
I
so
was
lucky.
born? We're so lucky. I think about women birthing children and those kind of
Oh,
things, and I'm like, oh my God, thank God we live when we live. Thank God.
and
I
pain.
think
I was just looking at pain reduction, like pain medicines,
Yeah.
pain management.
Management. Yeah.
You had to bite a bullet. You literally had to bite a bullet and take a shot of whiskey, like
Yeah.
until like 2 days ago.
Exactly.
It was like brutal.
So brutal. So brutal.
Now just put a mask on you, you'll sleep through the whole process.
Yeah.
you go to the hospital, they're like, all right, which stick would you want? Do you want oak? Do you want hickory?
Yeah.
Yeah, bite this stick.
Which stick would you like
Yeah.
to chew on while we amputate your leg?
And then they
Yeah,
stick leeches on you, say that'll help.
Yeah.
My God.
my insurance billed me for oak, but I had hickory.
I love that. That's a hysterical concept.
Yeah.
I'm
And
sorry,
Canadian
I have an HMO. I can only have hickory. I
Yeah,
can't have
or
oak.
pine.
Yeah, you can only have pine. Exactly.
Cheapest
I didn't
ass.
I didn't
Gummy
have
pine.
whiskey. I had Kentucky whiskey. What is this? All right, question two. The instrument closely associated with blues is the harmonica, other than guitar. Who was primarily known for their expertise as a harpist?
Your first name.
I wanna go with that Pine Top Parker. Was that the name I heard? I don't even know.
Perkins. Yeah,
Perkins.
close.
Pine
Pine
Top Perkins.
Top Perkins.
I went Sonny Boyd Williams, but
Yes.
I love that you said Pine Top because that's a cool name.
It's Sonny Boy?
Same boy Williams.
Mike,
Yeah.
you're 2 for 2.
I think I knew that one. That's why.
Really? I have
That's
to
the
I
only
also
one
knew-
performer I knew. I knew he played the
we
harp.
played the harp. Do we know if
Mouth
the other
harp.
3 even I don't even know. So are the other 3 even real people, or did you make those up?
Probably.
No, they're real people.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is how little I know.
How can you make? I'm not clever enough to make a pine top.
I don't know. You've made up some pretty good
Yeah.
decoy guesses before.
You have.
All right, and then the third one is which band was not part of the blues rock that was associated with blues?
Okay, I'm saying Pink Floyd. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong album, but I don't hear blues when I hear Pink
Yeah, I
Floyd.
don't hear blues, but all of their stuff is based upon what's called the minor pentatonic scale. It was very bluesy based. I would say it's Animals. The Animals.
It's Pink Floyd.
No.
Yeah.
Psychedelic.
The other
But I
The
love
other-
that you just taught me that. What the hell does it mean?
So in the blues, there's a thing called the blues scale, but there's also this thing called the major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic. And Pink Floyd leverages the minor pentatonic. It's very sullen sound.
Uh-huh.
Very kind of
That's blue, and that's a bluesy bass.
it's a
kind
bluesy
of-
sound. So that's why, and I know they're
Gotcha.
considered psychedelic rock, but I was convinced that was blues based. Maybe it's not.
Ah.
I
What was
mean,
your
if this-
guess, Mike? I forgot.
The Animals.
Animals, that's right.
I can't actually remember any of their songs, so I gotta we'll see what this Canned Heat song is because I remember there's one.
I don't even
hit.
know the band, Can.
No, you'll know it.
Oh, it's one of those things where was it a one-hit wonder kind of a thing? Or was
On the road.
So while you're looking that up, there's a guy on YouTube that I watch who's a really good guitar player, and he teaches lessons online, but he just does these really cool videos on YouTube. I can't remember his name. I'll have to send you a link. But he challenged
This
like
one. It's very bluesy. Listen, can you hear it in the distance? Let me crank it up a little bit. Oh man, I can't crank it up. Hold on.
That's all right. I wasn't talking.
Here it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there. Yeah.
Sorry, if you were talking, I didn't hear you talking because I had my.
No, that's all right. Yeah.
So who's this YouTube guy?
Oh, so he basically what he did was he challenged that. He's like, each genre of music has their guitar that they associate with, and so everybody thinks that they want to play that type of genre, then they need to have that guitar, and he totally
This
prove
that.
proved that he like used the opposite guitar of what you should use for those, and made it sound amazing. It was so cool.
I love
And he
that.
said he actually thinks that some of those are better suited for like a blues guitar. You don't even need for blues.
Right.
And he picked other guitars that actually sounded better. It was really
Oh,
cool.
that's
Like a
cool.
hollow body is like traditionally blues, right? Hollow body guitars are for blues, Mike.
Yeah, they can be, yeah, for sure. The hollowed body electrics can be. Did you know Pink Floyd has a song called Blues?
No, what does it
No
sound
idea.
like?
Can you play it?
Here it is. Here it is.
That sounds bluesy.
But it's just a song called Blues. But interesting.
That's
All right, well,
kind
maybe I screwed up on that one. I did some research. It seemed like that was the one that didn't. The other ones I think are associated with
with
blues.
blues
Like,
more.
yeah.
For sure. For sure. No, that was good. That was
That was
good.
cool.
So I got 2. You got 1, Aim?
I
Or 2?
got
You
2.
got 2.
I got Pneumonia and Pink Floyd.
So you win because you got 2.5 with the pneumonia.
Oh, yeah.
Woo-hoo!
Amy wins it.
Yay!
Hey, talking about winning, you, our listening friends, can help us win. Would you please give us a rating, an honest rating review? Did you find the show interesting? Did you learn some new stuff from Chris? Go to rateourpodcast.com and please do us that favor. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. Any questions you have, you can email to me at askmike@mikemichalowicz.com. And I'd love to answer your questions on one of the behind the mics on Mike Up in Your Business. It's a lot of mics. A lot of mics. All right.
Can't have too much Mike.
Yeah. All right. Let's get out of here.
All right.
All right. Wishing you good times.
Wishing you